everyone, welcome to my channel. I am going to be going through my daily routine that I have for my 3-month-old baby. So I will just pop that up on the screen over here for you guys to see. I also do have some notes on his wake windows and his nap times. And once I'm done with that, I am going to be going through some rules that I have for myself, my husband, and for anyone who is going to be around Taylor. I am currently in my child's playpen. He is also beside me doing some independent play, so you will be hearing him with his socks, his jingle socks. He is also sucking on his teething toys, so you will be hearing him throughout the video. I'm also just probably going to tilt my head over and look at him throughout the video just to make sure that he is okay. I also do have his schedule up on my computer, and I will be taking a look at it as we go through this video. So let's just get started. Our day starts off pretty early in the morning. We all wake up at 6 o'clock. So this wake up time is different from all the other wake up times throughout the day because my husband obviously goes to work, and we both want to make sure that he spends some time with Taylor and also has time to get himself ready for work. So this part of the day, so the wake up, change, and feeding time, is an hour long. I also pump during that time as well. So once we wake up, we let him have a good 5-10 minute stretch. Since he is in a swaddle, I feel like he needs a lot of time to just like stretch it out, especially because he sleeps throughout the whole entire night. So he wakes up, stretches, we get him changed. We also change him out of his pajamas. We also want to just make sure that he's in day clothes and it's different from what he's wearing at night. And then we feed him. Renee is usually the one to feed him since I am pretty much getting his bottles ready for the day. I am also pumping and I'm bagging milk at the same time, and I'm also making breakfast for the both of us, which honestly isn't that crazy because it's usually just cereal or oatmeal or maybe eggs even, but that usually takes about an hour. And with that hour, after he does feed, he also sits on his bouncer for like 10-15 minutes to digest his milk before he moves on to his 1 hour wake window where he is doing some independent play, and eventually I will join him to do some adult-led activities. During his morning independent play, I also like to get myself ready for the day as well. And since now that we have a playpen, I'm a little bit more at ease leaving him alone while I am getting ready for the day. Doesn't mean that he's like completely unsupervised. Either myself or Renee will pop in to see that he's okay while we are getting ready, you know, brushing my teeth, washing my face, getting all changed and ready for the day. So that is what goes on between 7 to 8 ish. Around 7:45 is when I start to get him ready for his first nap, which is at 8 o'clock. So 7:45, I'll pick him up, see if he needs to be changed. Sometimes he doesn't need to be changed because his diaper isn't as full, but I do like to have him in a clean diaper for his nap, even if it's just a little bit of a tinkle. I'll kind of just like play it by ear. But yes, 7:45, get him changed if he needs to, get him into his swaddle, and I'll rock him to sleep until 8 o'clock. So I want to make sure that I have at least 15 minutes before 8 o'clock because I want to make sure that he gets the full hour and a half of his nap time. So his sleep, or around the 3-month-old stage, their sleep is now broken into two. It's no longer deep sleep going into a light sleep. It's deep sleep and then it cuts right in the middle. I wouldn't say in the middle, but after half an hour, 45 minutes, and he's supposed to go into his light sleep, but because it's broken into two and they are losing the melatonin that they have had in birth, they can't get themselves back to sleep. So I do have to assist him with going back to sleep, because half an hour nap is not enough for a 3-month-old. They definitely need to be sleeping for more than that. But there are days where he's able to put himself back to sleep, which I love, because it just means that he is just finding a way to put himself back to sleep. We are getting somewhere with this. He's growing. He is thriving. After his hour-and-a-half nap, I do wake him up, obviously, and pretty much it repeats. Wake up, change him, and feed him. I do always make sure that 10 minutes before his nap is done that I warm up his milk and make sure that it's ready, so then he doesn't have to wait, and pretty much that is it. The only times that are different is his nap time starting at 2 o'clock, where it decreases in time. So this time it's just an hour and 15 minutes. And also his wake time is a little bit longer, meaning it is an hour and 15 minutes as well. So shorter nap, longer wake window, and then once we hit the 5 o'clock nap, which is the 4th nap of the day, it is only an hour. And then his wake hour is now an hour and a half to 2. And then his bedtime is around 8 o'clock. Sometimes we put him down earlier. We kind of play that part of the day, or I should say night, by ear, depending on how tired he is. So that is pretty much it. I hope I explained that well enough, because it's kind of distracting doing this video with a little babes right beside you, chatting away. Now I'm going to be moving on to the notes that I have on the side. So we're going to start off with his wake windows. The one thing I want to do, and for anyone that is going to be around Taylor during his wake windows, is to be present during the time. And so that is just like my #1 rule. I just want people to be present with him. Right now, it's his independent play. So yes, I am not so present, but yes, I am here. But it's just, I'm not present. He is currently playing right now. For his wake windows, we'll start off with his adult-led activity time, which is 15 to 20 minutes. Each wake window, I want to make sure that it is different, so he doesn't get so bored of his toys. I also do have some focused developmental skills as well: social, emotional, communication and language, cognitive, and physical. For social, I have returning gaze of adult. Emotional, I have sense of self for comfort, so sucking on his fingers and hands. Communication and language, I have vocalizing, like cooing and babbling. He's not really at the babbling stage, but he is cooing a lot. For cognitive, we have spatial exploration, tracking moving objects with his eyes. And physical, we have palmar grasp, holding objects with his whole palm. Yes, you do, like you are right now. Yeah, I know. He loves to talk, as you can tell. And lastly, for physical, I have lifting his head and upper body while laying on the floor. So basically, tummy time. So under that, I have a few activities that you can do with him during the adult-led activity time. So reading a book, tummy time, visual tracking over his head, holding objects and bringing them to mouth. Yeah, I know. This gets you so excited. He has like the biggest smile on his face. Yeah, you do. So engaged conversations. I love having conversations with him. I talk to him as if like he actually understands what I'm saying, and honestly, he says stuff back. Obviously not actual words, but he's trying to communicate with me, which is what I want. Singing songs, letters, letter sounds and numbers, I do stretches with him that aid to crawling and, you know, turning his head, support sitting, and giving him teething toys. Yes. Did you want to join me now? Do you want your book? Do you want your... Here, let go of this. Here. Yeah. Right now I'm giving him his Jungle Tales book. So moving on to his independent playtime. He is either using his piano, like kicking his piano. It's the Fisher-Price piano. Or he is under his little play gym and he has like all the things like dangling down. So that is what he is using right now. And he also has like his little socky with like the little bells inside. He took this one off. And what I like to do with this little play gym is switch it up every few days, like maybe every 2 days or so. I like to switch it up just so he doesn't get bored of it, and it's something different that he can explore. I did write, during this time he is developing his independence. Do not hover over him. Give him his space to explore on his own. So during this time, he's not completely alone. Obviously, he's still supervised, but I just let him play on his own to just do his own thing. And he is now going to join me for this video. So his independent playtime is around 15 to 20 minutes. Sometimes less, you know, depending on how he is feeling. I kind of just go off of that, but it's usually around 15 to 20 minutes. And that is his wake window. That is his wake hour. So moving on to his nap times. Like I said earlier, I do like to take 15 minutes before his nap to settle him into his crib, get him ready for his nap, make sure he is, you know, calm and all that stuff. He's in his swaddle and whatnot, and I'm rocking him to bed. And that usually takes less than 15 minutes, but obviously there are days where it takes us maybe 15 to 20 minutes. Yeah. So that is before his nap, and he's, you know, usually a pretty good sleeper aside from waking up at that like 30-minute mark, 45-minute mark. And I just wrote down, you know, if he gets fussy and cries during his sleep, wait a minute to allow him to calm himself down, which is something that he is able to do sometimes. But, you know, just so watch him through the baby monitor, not actually inside the nursery room. He may be in active sleep, trying to pass gas or reposition himself. So obviously, if you guys have a baby, you know that they go through this active sleep. Sometimes they legit burst out crying, but they're actually just sleeping. They do a lot of what is that called, grunting as well, which honestly was a really scary thing in the beginning. I was like, what in the world is this child doing? And I would like go to, you know, care to him, and he's sleeping. So yeah, I just like to watch him through the baby monitor. I don't like interrupting him, you know, going into the nursery room and him hearing me checking up on him and whatnot. And if he really can't put himself to sleep, that is obviously when I help him out. I pick him up, rock him back to sleep, and putting him back to sleep is, I think, the trickiest part of it all. It takes forever, and I'm not gonna lie, I end up falling asleep with him in my arms. Like, I fall asleep before he falls asleep sometimes because I am just exhausted. But and honestly just bored. I look at him and I just end up like, you know, closing my eyes. But it does take him a while to go back to sleep because he is in, you know, he's awake and he's not in that much of like a deep sleep anymore. But he ends up going back to sleep anyways. There's that very rare once in a blue moon occasion where he actually just does not want to go back to sleep. But I do still spend that however much remaining time there is left inside his nursery. I don't take him out or anything like that. We just chill in his nursery room. So when I am putting him back to sleep, I don't talk to him at all, because I don't want to initiate, you know, a response back. And that is something that I also requested from Renee as well, because I find if you do talk to him, he just thinks like, okay, well, it's time to wake up anyways. Now moving on to what we like to call Taylor's bylaws, because we love suits and we decided to call them Taylor's bylaws instead of Taylor's rules. This can be a little controversial. I know it's been a little bit controversial already, but I have always known at a pretty young age how I wanted to raise my kids. This, you know, obviously came to a shock for Renee, because obviously him not really being around children, and you know, my background with being in early childhood education, I've just always known, and I've never really spoken to Renee about it either. And he just, like, he honestly told me if I didn't come up with any of these rules, our baby would be an iPad kid. And no judgment to any parents who decide to give their child an iPad or, you know, give them screen time and whatnot, but I just know that's not something that I want to do so early on. But I'll just go through it and explain each rule that I have, and two bonus ones that I think are the most controversial ones, and they are still up for debate between Renee and myself. So rule number one, no cell phone use during the wake windows, only for emergency use only. I just want to be present during the times that he is awake, especially during the adult-led activities. I just think that, you know, we need to obviously set an example for him, and I know he's still young and doesn't really know what's going on, but I honestly think babies are smart. Kids are smart. They know what's going on. So no cell phone use during wake windows. Do you want to show them your teething toy? Do you want to show them your teething toy? Lift up your hand. Oh yeah, there it is. Rule number two is refrain from taking photos and having your phone in front or beside your face. I personally believe that this is overstimulating for a baby, but also what I've noticed about Taylor is that he actually doesn't like when the phone is in front of his face either. So that is something that I just learned over time. Obviously, I have my phone, I take pictures of him, and I'm starting to realize that, like, he actually doesn't really like that either. So, and I also feel like it just goes with the whole, like, no cell phone use and just being a little bit more present. Not everything needs to be documented. I will say, between me and Renee, he has this rule for me where I have to send him one photo and one video a day, because he is away for 9 hours, because he does have to go to work. But other than that, I don't really have my phone with me to take pictures. Rule number three is no screen time. So the TV should be off during the wake hour. He's not allowed to watch TV either. So if we want to watch TV and he's awake, he's actually turned away from the TV, or we somehow try to block it. So really he's just hearing things, but he's not actually watching with us. And this is for Renee: if you're watching TV during his feeding time, even though you shouldn't be, turn off the TV once he starts turning his head and has his attention towards the TV. That is my only request for him. And I know sometimes it's just hard to stay awake during his feeding time, because it's not like you're communicating with him, so you're just trying to keep yourself up. But that is like my only request for Renee. Rule number four is no carrying him for more than 5 minutes. He doesn't always need to be carried. He does not always need to be coddled. He should really only be carried if he is crying, obviously, and to bring him, you know, places around our place, our condo, but he doesn't always need to be held. I do not want a Velcro baby. I still want my independence as well. He needs to build his independence too. So no carrying him for more than 5 minutes. Rule number 5 is refrain from using the bouncer during his wake window. The only time he should be using his bouncer is when he is done his feed and he is just digesting before he goes off into his activities. So when he's in his bouncer digesting, it's really just for like 10-15 minutes, but that is about it. Rule number 6, no baby talk. Baby talk is like the one thing that I don't want around my child. I want people to talk to him as if, you know, you talk to another adult, not as a baby. If you find yourself changing your tone and you sound like this, oh my gosh, you're so cute, Gucci, Gucci, Gucci. Yeah, no, none of that. I just think it interrupts the development of his communication skills. And just the pronunciation of words. So yeah, talk to him like he is an adult. And I know he's just a baby, I get that, but it also just becomes like a habit for ourselves. You know, we get into the habit of talking like a baby. We kind of just talk like that, so I kind of just want to avoid it, you know. That's it. Rule number 7, another communication language one, is English only. I know that this can be a little controversial, but I did say, yeah, no Tagalog, no Ilocano. He is, I know, young. Eventually he will learn. I'm not saying that he's never going to learn how to speak Tagalog or Ilocano. It's just that I want to make sure that he is on the right path to, you know, developing his communication skills, his language skills. I want to make sure that he's able to pronunciate words properly, and I don't want him to confuse Tagalog and Ilocano with English. And I've used this example with one of my friends before, and I've used this example with Renee as well. But when he goes to school, I don't want him to be one of those kids that are like, oh, I have sipon, and his teacher is not Filipino, and they're like, what in the world is sipon? Like, I don't know what that is. So that is the example that I used to explain why I want him to just, well, I want people to just speak English to him right now. But yeah, I just want him to get a good grasp of the English language before we start introducing him to another language. And rule number 8, I believe it's number 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Don't always seek for his attention. It's overstimulating. I'm pretty sure we find it annoying when people try to seek our attention and we don't really want that. Like, it's annoying. I find it annoying. So imagine for a baby who can't really communicate that you're annoying them. So that could be a little bit frustrating for a baby. So please do not seek for his attention. Do not seek for a baby's attention. Please don't call his name. Don't go, Taylor, 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 look here, Taylor this, Taylor that, I want to take a picture. You know, like, it's kind of annoying. Just give him his space, just as you would give another adult or your friend or family member their space. On to our bonus rules. Not really our bonus rules, they're my bonus rules, but they're still up for debate. But rule number 1 is no kissing of the hands, the face, anywhere near his face, his head. No kissing. RSV season, all year round, until I am ready to have people kiss him, even though nobody really should be kissing him other than myself and his dad. Just no kissing of the face, the head, the hands. Keep your germs to yourself. Babies have such a low immune system. Leave them alone, okay? Kiss their feet, but not their face or their hands. So that is rule number 1. Rule number 2, which is, I think, a pretty big one that Renee and I kind of went back and forth on, is people posting photos of our child. I explained to Renee that For myself, when I want to post a photo of a child or someone's baby, I always ask for their permission, but Renee said, you know what, not everybody thinks like you, so you can't just assume people are going to ask. So that is something that we're still debating on. He's trying to put himself to sleep, okay guys? He really is. But yeah, so just posting photos of our child. One thing that we both did agree on is not having photos or people posting photos of him like half naked, like in his onesie or something like that, or in his diaper. And I know it's kind of weird because I do have a photo of him in his diaper for his 1 month photo, and it's up on Instagram. I get that, but yeah, nobody else is allowed to. It's just, you know, something that we thought was both kind of weird if people did post photos of him in his diaper or, you know, a onesie and his like legs are showing and whatnot. So yeah, just us. Only we will be posting photos like that. And also another thing, not everything needs to be posted online. I also do have a private account where I post all things Taylor, which really isn't even a lie. I swear I only have like 13 photos like since he was born. But you know, any photos that I don't want to post on my public account, I am posting of him on his account, and only a few people are following that account, and it's a private account. I think we only have like 30 of our friends following that account. But yeah, those two rules are up for debate. Maybe I'm just a little bit overprotective of my child, but like I said, I've just always known how I wanted to raise my kids. So there you guys have it. That is our daily routine for our 3-month-old Taylor, and our wake windows, our nap times, and our rules, all that stuff. I hope that helps you guys out, especially some new first-time parents out there who don't necessarily know what to do. You know, I am still just going with the flow. Sometimes that's all you have to do. You guys just have to figure it out yourselves. Every baby is different, and we are all just trying to do our best. All you need to make sure is that your baby is eating, your baby is sleeping, and that they are healthy, and that is all that matters. So if you guys enjoyed, give this video a thumbs up, and we will see you in the next one. Bye guys!